Hello, hello, hello. This is Flipaster here again, and now I'm coming for you with a guide that is going to absolutely ruin the ladder for Vanguard players. I was sitting on this for a while, thinking if I should even do this, but I guess we are gonna get some patch that's going to change the meta soon anyway, so might as well do it before it gets obsolete. So, as you might know, in the current patch, which is like what, 0.1.3 or something like that, Infernals got nerfed hard, and it became extremely difficult to deal with Biome. So, if you have been struggling with how to play against that, you are not alone, and this guide is gonna help you for sure. My win rate, like I was completely fine handling Bio before the patch, but my win rate against Vanguard turned into like 30% or something of the patch. Like I just couldn't win anymore. Until I had to completely rework my approach to the whole matchup. And my current reasoning is simply a logical conclusion of what they did in the patch. And it's that tier 1 units are useless against Vanguard. And that is the basis of my new approach. And I've been using this for a while on ladder now, and it completely made this matchup so much better for me. I think my recent matchup win rate has been more like 70% or something against Vanguard. And my MMR has been going up again. So, I'm playing against Kiera, which I didn't know at the time, like, I didn't know who this Vaunguard is, I only learned about it after the game. So, he already knows this approach that I'm doing, and he's trying to counter it, but you can still see how it works. So, just bear in mind my philosophy behind this whole approach. Avoid tier 1 units against Vanguard specifically. This is a build that's only against Vanguard, bear that in mind. So, if you have seen my previous video, I will also be employing several of the tricks I showed in that during the game. Unfortunately, on this Ruination map, which I'm not a huge fan of, I don't really know where the health flowers are, so I'm not picking those up. Otherwise I would be doing that with my Hexen at this point. That's a bit unfortunate. And also some of the flowers are bugged as well. So I was a bit surprised, oh, okay, this guy knows what I'm doing. No tier 1 units. But I didn't know who it is. So at the first, we are just going to go to 11 workers, and then we make our iron vault. There we go, and then we are going to 11 workers again and going to be making our shrine. So 11 workers, iron vault, 11 workers, shrine. And using the Hexen to just protect these imps against the dog, basically. It's a bit awkward to fight the dog with just a Hexen or just an imp, but together they are enough to drive it off without any trouble. And then we just keep making more units, and we are going to make a health meat farm of course. You don't really need to do it here on this map or any of the maps anyway. Like, actually I think it's better to put it on the front line to be defensive with it, but that's what I ended up doing here anyway. Maybe I was worried about the dog coming back to harass me when I'm taking the health camp. And I will go to 12 workers in the Luminite mine before I rally to the Ethereum. And when I have my first brute, I will go take out the health camp. I'm just making workers behind this of one vault basically. I also didn't follow my own advice about how to handle this health camp, but it was fine because I had the Felfog here to help. Just need to be careful to not lose this brute. There we go. You can also do it this way around. Had a skull back there, that's a bit unfortunate, one less fiend. So I'm always aiming to keep 12 workers on the Luminite mine, and on the expansion I will start getting Therium almost right away, because that's going to be a very high priority with this build. You need to get a minimum of 2 camps, Therium camps, for this to work. 2 Therium camps and a mine is pretty good, but you really want even more Therium camps. Like, this build is all about Therium. So we are just making more brutes of our 1 Iron Vault while we are saving up Therium. And then we will be going for the Crater Shrine as soon as you hit 100 Therium. And next thing you will want is the upgrade building. The one with the brute upgrades, whatever it was called again. I would assume I'm starting at soon. But I'm also taking the speed camp here, so I have to be a bit careful. There we go, the Hellforts. So after you start the upgrade for Crater Shrine, start Hellforts as well. And at this point you can start adding more production, like 1 Conclave, maybe a 2nd Iron Vault. You don't actually need many production buildings, because you will be making tier 2 units which are more expensive. So that's one advantage of this opening. And once the Hellfort finishes, you will want to get the Magmaron Stomp as a priority upgrade. And I would usually be making a creep highway, but on this map it's a bit annoying because there's a long way from your base here. I don't really want to waste the animals on this, so I would rather make like a tower here. And I'm also taking my third now. You can be kind of greedy because you are mining extra Luminite anyway. You can see that I prioritized my 2 Therium camps here, so I get the maximum amount of tech units when needed. But I'm not actually pumping out units at this point, I'm just creeping with like the minimum amount of units I need. This one is with exposed, so I'll make a Shroud Stone on my third, and also starting a Shroud Stone here to start spreading my Shroud. And you also want to get your flyer building pretty soon. I keep forgetting the building names. We'll see when it goes up. And yeah, now that I have Shroud here, I'm instantly starting to spread my Shroud. I can connect my bases. That will make it possible for the Weavers to move around. I'll take an early kill, even though it's a bit inefficient for the Weaver. Still, killing anything at this point is good. So, now it depends on the enemy composition, what units you actually want to be making. If they are making mass launchers, you want to be making fast Magmadons. But if they are making exos, you want Weavers instead. I do have 1 Magmadon now, so you can see how I have only like 2 brutes, 3 brutes, 1 Weaver, 1 Magmadon. And I keep trying to spread my Shroud because that makes it more possible to move these Weavers around. I saw his army at this point, and I saw that he has a lot of exos very fast. So that means I'm going to need more Weavers, so that's what I'm prioritizing right now. I do have 2 Magmadons already, so I can deal with the Lancers in the front. And I'm just trying to keep taking some camps while maintaining my map presence and spreading my Shroud and getting more economy behind this. Now I have my Twilight Spire. That was the upgrade building I meant. I mean, not upgrade building, the flyer building, Twilight Spire. Let's get the Therium camp, that's always a high priority. On this map, like air harass and stuff like that, it's always annoying with this vertical layout. That's one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of this map. And we have our Elder Shrine on the way, like you want that as soon as possible as well. Around 6 minutes would be awesome. We have a drop coming now, 7 minutes is still fine. So, I didn't take a lot of economic damage, of course I need to evacuate my units. Sending my units back to deal with this. Like I was just commenting on the drop play, it's pretty annoying. So I'm trying to deal with that, but I do lose some workers. It's not the end of the world. I have a lot of shrines, so I can make more. And I also kill a few of the exos with the Hellborn helping to push away the evac. Now we just send back the workers and get our economy running again. And meantime, while I just keep spreading my shroud even further away. And I also made a tower up here because it's gonna help against the drop play and stuff like that. Maybe some siege units here would be very annoying. At this point my shroud is all the way here, so I can be more aggressive. I can actually take small engagements. But since I do have my tier 3, and I have my tier 3 upgrades on the way, I don't want to like commit to an actual fight. The tier 3 upgrade, once you get tier 3, you want to get the Raging Tendons, the Magmanon speed upgrade from Hellfort as a priority upgrade. Because that's going to be the thing that allows you to actually use Magmanons to fight the Exos. Until then you have no chance to catch them. It's not done yet, so this is a bit unfortunate. I'm waiting for the message to tell that my upgrade is finished, so that I know now I can actually fight this army. You can see that we are like very even at this point. It's been a tough game, like he's around the same MMR as me, and he also knows my playstyle. So I'm just playing kinda defensively, holding my bases, getting my economy up, while I'm getting the upgrades. Once you have your tier 3 upgrade, you become very strong all of a sudden. He used his seal unit to save this, and it's actually kind of amazing that it managed to somehow slip between all of these fat units. But I'm still not sure that was really worth the shield ability. And now we got it anyway. So yeah, now we are taking the actual first battle here in the middle. I have my upgrades, so I can kind of make things happen. But I still want to be careful because they're a pretty big army. So there we go. Our tier 3 Magmanos are doing the stomp. And the important thing you want to keep in mind when you do this is that you don't want to dive into the enemy. Just stomp, and just before it's about to start, you turn them back so they can stay alive. Like, you don't want to use them as suicide units. They are the core DPS of your army. So just stomp and come back. And I was able to push this army away while Hellborn are shooting from the back with their flame upgrade. And we can keep doing stomps when we are off cooldown. And it keeps killing units, and then I turn back. And my Weaver count is also going up. And that's good, because when I have like 10 of them, I can just turn on the auto leash, and whenever we are fighting, I'm gonna grab a bunch of units and kill them. Now I feel confident enough to take this forward Therium expansion as well. That's going to give me a huge boost as well. I'm getting like all the tier 3 upgrades. The brute one is not very important, but in the end you might as well get that, because you may end up with a lot of extra Therium, so maybe sometime you want to just make like 20 brutes to have some filler units. But generally speaking, I only have like you can see I only have tier 2 units in this army. The exact ratio will depend on what you see the enemy doing. But brutes are your main DPS, while Weavers are like assassination units. You need them to take care of the big tech units, but also when you have enough of them, you can just do like mass grabs with the auto leash. And that's going to make all of your battles very efficient. And Hellborn is like the support unit in the back that also deals with air units. Because you don't have anything else against air in this composition at the moment. But I usually do prepare against air as well, and make a few more Twilight Spires and Shadow Cleft so that I can make Brigands if need be. I haven't done that yet, but I probably will later. We are still very even, but my army is getting very scary at this point. One, two, three, five. I think I have 5 Magmanons, 6 Magmanons, 7, 8. Okay, yeah. I'm getting too closer to like 10 Magmanons, and that becomes like an unstoppable force. I also have a pretty nice number of Hellborn now. They're starting to deal more and more damage. Okay. This base is kind of far away, so I added like a bunch of extra towers here. So I guess when he sees that, he turns back because he doesn't want to get caught fighting those. It's not like he can't kill them, but would take a while and he doesn't want to get backstabbed while doing it. But I kinda catch his army anyway. At this point he also has Cravens in the army, and that's good, but still, Magmanons will stomp them just like anything else. You can just kind of see my tier 2 army going to work. Well, actually tier 3 with the tier 3 upgrades. I'm running a bit low on Magmanons, so of course that's what I want to be adding more to the army at this point. But he already lost most of the DPS in this army. I'm kinda fine with this many Hellborn in the back dealing damage. While the remaining Weavers are tanking and grabbing more units. You can see that I kinda got ahead in the supply here. And I'm making more Magmanons to fill up the ranks, so once those arrive, it's gonna be even stronger again. They got kind of blocked by the Hellborn there, so I have to do an early stamp, but I also get some flanking Magmanons here. And we can see that the opponent supply is starting to drop heavily, because these tier 2 units are getting very good AoE trades. And the opponent can't fight because he keeps having to back off from the Magmanons, while my Hellborn keeps attacking from the back. And I have a big income at this point, so I'm just making more and more tier 2 units to refill my ranks. And because I have the Stroud Highway, they can get here pretty fast. Even the Weavers. I'm fighting and also taking down the enemy expansion at the same time. He's not able to push enough into my troops to keep it alive. So now his economy starts to be in shambles. And at this point it's pretty much already over. You can see how effective this composition is against Vanguard players. Like, there isn't much they can do to turn this around at this point. Helicarriers can maybe be effective, but this is a pretty tanky army, like everything has high hit points, so they don't die to bombing rounds that easily. And Hellborn can also take out those Helicarriers. So at this point I'm also adding a Dragon to the army, as like the finishing touch. So this is like the first time in the game I actually have Infest with my army as well. And that's going to make it even more effective against this bio army. I haven't actually even made the upgrade building for Gaunts in the whole game. I just feel it's completely a waste. Unless the enemy is going Hedgehogs, then you want Gaunts with Infest as well. But against anything else, you just want to keep making tier 2 units, and eventually Dragon as well. And of course you can still die to some things, you can make mistakes, things can happen, but overall this has been very strong against Vanguard. Like, you can use it against pretty much anyone. Just keep the basics clean. Remember your priorities. Get fast tech. And you will start winning against Vanguard. So, if you have been struggling against Vanguard in this patch like I have been, then I hope this video will help you. At this point there really isn't much else to see here. They're just taking like a few beautiful stumps and then it's over. There we go. So, that's the game. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the build. I'll be happy to answer. But I hope this will be useful for you. And for now, peace out.